Hello, and welcome back to Final Fantasy XIV. I hope you are having a wonderful evening, morning, day, wherever you are. Let's jump back into something else after the very exciting and arguably emotional ending to the Outer Wilds that I had this morning. Well, now a little bit more of a chill, relaxed kind of deal, even though Ultimate Proc theoretically isn't really chill, but it kind of is for me. Anyways, back to Final Fantasy XIV, back to the Mega Protocol with more progress. Hopefully, I think our progress on Sunday was quite good. We still have a bunch, too many P1 wipes, but overall I think that we're making good progress. We had a lot of P3 pulls, which is really good. I hope we can improve even further on that. So I think we had like 8 something P3 pulls on Sunday, so hopefully that's going to be 9 or 10 today. That would be really awesome. I also think that a lot of people have already pretty much gotten a hang of how the whole mechanic is supposed to work. There are a couple of like smaller bits and pieces that you just need to get used to, and arguably I had to. Something like the tethers, if they're not activated yet, that they show up as a little bit of a quote-unquote ghost version, but they're still fairly clearly visible, so if you haven't really been there, if you haven't really seen that specific effect, sometimes it can kind of trip you off a little bit, and you might think that the tether is already active when it isn't. But yeah, that's so mainly we need to get into the flow of things. We need to actually get through the first loop, which I've named the stream the programming loop, because we're not in the loop of Outer Wilds anymore. Now we're in the loop of P3, because it is kind of a loop, considering that Hello World, or the whole latent defect phase of it, or latent defect cast, happens 4 times, which means the whole ordeal with the 4 towers, 4 people having tethers, 2 of them close, 2 of them far, 2 having deformation, and 2 having stacks. That needs to happen 4 times, and there is a specific way of handling those mechanics, which hopefully we'll be able to do. I just heard that the group is filling up, so let's get into the game and also join the others on Discord. We do need to do one thing, which is a little bit of DPS optimization in P2. Because so far I don't think we've ever actually reached P3 without any sort of party buff, which we need to do because we need those party buffs in P3 to deal enough damage there. So yeah, that is something that we kind of need to work on. I looked into it a little bit. There's a small bit of optimization that I can do that hopefully will help out the party reach that goal. But anyways, let's join the others in Discord. Let's get this thing on the road.
Because they sold out in less than 30 seconds.
Hello.
It's always like that.
I managed to get 3 tickets. One for me and my husband, and my friend didn't manage to get a ticket because they sold so fast, so... That's good.
So fast, you're saying?
At least the ticket side worked.
And I'm following on Twitter all of these people that are raging at the convention hosts because their tickets sold so fast and people couldn't get a ticket. Also, people are putting up tickets on auction to make
I need to buy
hundreds of euros profit.
Yeah, that's just standard though, isn't it? Yep.
Yeah, they had to limit the amount of tickets that is possible to buy by a single person to 5.
Am I the only one who has the feeling of never running out potions because buying them, and there are just potions at the bottom of your bag which are just getting dusty and smelly because you're never using them because you just buy new ones on the top of them?
Oh, so you're overstocking. Good job.
I'm always overstocking to make sure that I have enough
Enough what?
potions.
I always understocking.
That's
Use
true
it
though.
well.
That's just like tea in the kitchen or something. Like you always
You should
find
sell them.
it's something that just doesn't get used. You find it years later.
You should sell them.
I'm not selling them
Why not?
because I'm using them.
How many do you have in your inventory?
125. I just bought.
Okay, okay.
I don't have a
I-
full stack. Don't worry.
I saw how expensive potions are, so I finally went and made them myself. And I managed to make 10 million gil out of them in a single day.
I knew I forgot something.
Why
Damn
I
it,
have
Sil. You had one job to do.
And did you
Like
do your
versus
job?
target bar.
No.
Yeah, I'm working on it. Give me a second.
That's something.
Did I tell you guys I figured out what plugin was causing my game to crash?
No, not yet.
It was the weird Chinese botting plugin that I didn't even use.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was will der von dir?
And when I remember when I did have the plugin, whenever I would enter this instance, the plugin would give me a specific warning message that said, "Don't you dare to use this plugin in Omega Ultimate." And I was like, okay.
Nice. A couple of them might be scuffed because I'm throwing away from a home. So it's, yeah.
What are you doing?
Not using Tomahawk.
Okay.
Also, we are going to play with your life in phase 2, so. Yeah, so it has to heal.
Okay. No, it's not okay.
Yeah, it's close now. Because I was bound to two angles.
Oh. You lied to me.
Alright.
You betrayed me.
Close.
I will Benedict was here.
Shield between B and 3.
I'm not getting killed to rest.
Res. I'll be quick. Use everything. You haven't lost already.
I fucked up my damage at the beginning.
Just making sure. The only part of the second phase where you're able to clear both of the bosses is at the beginning for the first two GCDs.
No.
No.
Okay. Then where else can I cleave both of the bosses?
That's why I call out firewalls about to fall off every single time.
I know that, but like, I can't.
Yeah.
You can, yeah.
I cannot reach the other boss with my Art of War.
Oh yeah, I got you.
They're literally on top of each other and that happens.
Yes.
Are they?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
They're teleporting in.
It's like barely
It's
two
okay.
GCDs before the female goes away.
How many GCDs can I do there?
1.5.
Huh?
1.5.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I didn't realize that. Because it's such a short amount of time.
Okay. I'm also Jake, not sure if you know, but you muted. Okay.
I'll try to look out for your pot, okay? I was late to the benediction.
Oh.
Nice job.
Please be careful with the Stop damage, stop damage, stop damage. Sure.
I mispressed something. I need archival for the blade lens. I can
Okay.
just move out my head
Okay.
Off.
Pull out.
Out. Yeah.
Off. Can be 16 AM too.
I gave you, but I didn't have this one.
Pardon?
One of the DPS blade.
Everyone is running out.
Yeah.
Can the Grooves when you're stacking up or the baits when the tank tethers come up, please do not move backwards because that makes taking the tether from you very difficult and puts me out of max melee. Thank you. female.
Yeah,
Just go.
want someone. Yeah, Dre partner should have swapped, but Dre couldn't call it out.
Was it X?
Yeah.
You did?
Yes.
We did
Yeah,
swap.
they swapped.
Yeah. That's
Then
why
someone
you
would
saw
have
me.
actually-
Somebody else could have swapped as well, but it was not my partner when I had the other AoE, so it must be somebody that is not related to anybody.
Fine. We know what to do. Just not having the call out there is not great.
Like I said, I wasn't sure because last time I called you guys told me I was wrong, so I just wasn't sure.
Remember food?
Sorry. Maybe I was trying to type this and maybe just really badly registered. I'm so sorry.
phase, and it's far. There you go.
Oh, I got it.
I had to use a little rival side there again.
Yeah, Les, can you please put on the fairy tether on Rev?
I don't have any wave slots there, but I can do it beforehand.
Yeah.
I'm pulling my energy drains there, so I don't have weave slots to put either soul or the fairy tether, but I can do it before the bosses become targetable.
Okay. What did you change besides your tomahawk at the beginning? You're unusually low. You're unusually low on HP. Then why? Okay.
I forgot to use my blood wedding at the opening one time when I first tried it.
Okay.
Apart from that, absolutely nothing.
Okay. We keep monitoring. That's all.
And I removed the sacred soil, which is like a region and like a mitigation, and I also am putting.
Beginning?
Yeah, there's no soil anymore, which is like 10% out, and then like. Well, it's my biggest heal.
In the first phase, you don't really need to adjust anything. It's more like phase 2.
No, it's phase 2.
Oh, we were talking about phase 1.
Oh, my bad. At the start of phase 2, I took out the soil and the...
No, I actually know how I'm going to solve it.
Yeah, I figured, I'll put the fairy tether before... There was 3 people on my side.
Oh.
So I just fucking walled it because they weren't coming like on the other side, like it was number 2 already. I don't know who was missing, but I fell to like 10% HP after the first hit. And I didn't have any resources to heal up anymore, and there was still 3 people.
Okay. break also in phase 2 after I got hit by whoever was before this AoE. I guess that works as well.
What number were you, Nothar?
I was on a 2.
Oh, 10.
I was number 1, and I had to do a weird dodge. Because I had to do a weird dodge because I barely had the what is it called, the road to get into the group, because someone from the other group put their AoE really close to ours, and I had to dodge it as well. Maybe that's what fucked you over.
Okily dokily. We go again.
Sorry.
More or less in your position. I stopped out. I was sorry. You know the healer instinct.
Miscounted my steps there. I'm sorry.
something, sorry.
Oh, I tried to.
Give me. 1 second. I just want to change to push to talk because I don't bother you guys.
Please, thank you.
I figured something was lighting up. Okay, thanks.
Okay. Hold for a moment, please. Okay. There you go.
Under a female.
Yeah, this way.
What was the issue?
That was
We
weird.
we get the strategic arrow straight in the safe line. Like we had no space to dodge nowhere.
I thought there was a safe specific for that.
No, the middle is never safe because it goes through there.
Oh, it's on the bait, okay.
Yeah, the
actual
bait
AoE.
itself, yeah. Yeah, you just actually matched your AoE to the strategic arrows because that was unlucky.
Okay.
It's very strange, though. How can there be a pattern that's... Like, how are you supposed to solve that?
I guess you just need to be careful with the angle in the tether. There's not much else you can do, I don't think.
I guess so, yeah.
Unlucky, I finally had a good setup with my new healing. I'll just move into the other bit, I'm sorry.
Well,
listen, guys, can you give me 1 minute? I have maintenance guy suddenly came on me. Give me a sec.
Who came on him?
Okay.
Maintenance guys usually do that.
I want a maintenance guy like that. Joking.
Depends on the maintenance guy, right?
it's a fun astronaut, doctor, and everything all together at the same time, like all the settings.
God damn it, my wife ambushed me with a AC maintenance guy. What the heck? Give me, I'll just try to brush him off. Give me 2 minutes. Thank you. Okay, done.
Did you blow him away?
No. Just like told him go get that thing and give it to me later. The remote, basically.
I mean, he already came on in, so. Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yes, is the answer when you say it.
What's going on with phase 1?
It's just one of those days, it seems.
I know no one likes me, but come on, you're taking it too far.
I like you.
Ah.
That's fucking gay.
Okay.
Stop damage from the very head.
on the edge.
Female.
Close.
Oh, Benedict first.
Choose between 4 and B. Raz. Oh, okay. Fair enough. Remember to move forward and mark it if you need to, and move back as well.
Oh, I got Ruby double also. No, wait, mini grip. Why did you run to the wall? I'm dead.
To the wall.
If we have any breakthrough, don't run to the wall, guys. Until we clear problem.
That was still a little bit too close for comfort on the damage side, but
You still have
My chain stratagem ghosted at the beginning of the phase. Which would be like 1,000, maybe. Not 1,500, maybe.
You still had arcane.
No, it can
thingy
easily
on.
be like extra 1,000.
We still had the arcane thing, so technically we were like 2% behind it.
Yeah, but arcane is so much weaker than chain.
Well, yeah, but it still shouldn't be there. It's...
Yeah, oh yeah. But
So-
like, I think it might have been a big contribution. I'm just trying to say that.
okay.
The boss went like untargetable right when I clicked it. So it went off, but it wasn't on the boss.
Let's go again then.
There you go.
How the fuck? You had more than enough HP.
Close.
Under mail.
Close. Zombie.
Don't look again, because I don't have mana.
Zombie, whatever. Okay, use every spell that you can and let's try to push it through. Stay away from the weapons. Is that okay? Let's get started. Why not? Okay. Red is defamation. Careful where you move. Red is defamation. What? Blue tether, green tether.
Did I still in your tower, Jay? Did I be critical?
I think so, because I got critical overflow.
I'm so sorry then, I didn't see
Critical overflow bug. That's what I got.
it. Okay. That's possibly
Red was defamation, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Lance, you're not supposed to stack there with me. You need to be outside.
What?
If you're Christmas tether, you're always going outside of your deformation one. If you're blue tether, you're going inside between the two towers.
No, I was Lance was the deformation.
Ah, sorry. Then
You shouldn't have
to...
been close to me. You should have been like far away.
In the middle of the tower, right? Oh,
Yeah, even further out.
Even further out.
oh.
What's the wall? Yeah.
Okie dokie. Vanguard marker, please.
It's me. The guy came in with the new remotes, and I got distracted. Yay!
A remote to what exactly, I wonder?
You see, okay, basically my wife asked for a remote for the AC, and that's how the whole thing happened.
Must be nice to have an AC.
Goodbye.
Goodbye, bro.
Man, if only we could have that Overwatch death animation thingy on these accidents.
Why? Why?
To actually make it fun.
Yeah, and also added a bowling strike sound.
That would be awesome, actually.
Especially on the AoE drop, on AoE damage. Sorry.
The Mandeville Death Recap. They should add that. With custom sound effects for every single time.
An instant replace. Rub it in. Look, you suck. Look in slow motion.
damage is not much. Okay.
Male sides.
Close.
Fuck was that?
Shields on 4 MD. So far.
Missing one. That was my bad.
Picking you up.
Pretty good.
No adder probably.
Blue is defamation. Blue is defamation. Careful where you're moving. Blue is defamation.
You're not defamation to come closer.
Is there red
Lance.
purple?
Oh, fuck's sake, sorry.
If
La-
blue is
la-
defamation, then blue, like the Christmas
Those
tether on is on blue, right? Or
Yes.
Yes.
okay.
Yes, you are correct.
Lance, if you're not defamation, you're closer to the middle. You were not defamation. You were supposed to in the middle-ish of the edge of the tower to pair up with not her. It was not there as well.
Yeah, I was on the
I
side.
have seen too late that Nova ran over, otherwise I could have said something.
No, it's fine. I should know better. That's fine. It is what it is. Marker, please, Marcus.
We want a simplification anyway, right?
Yeah,
Did
sorry, I
you
got
have
distracted
major
about the
cooldowns
fact
on
that I
the-
was completely alone
like-
there. I was like trying to see where the other guy was.
Do we have major cooldowns on people now?
Yes,
Because I
all of
didn't
it.
see something.
Yeah, I had everything ready.
Dead.
Right?
Yeah. And absolutely that's sort of dead, so.
Give me a moment, let me open the window. Oh, I'm heavy. Sorry.
Female.
X swap, please, and it's far. This wall.
That was on me, I think.
College.
Don't like take that note for us to do something.
What did he die in?
No idea.
No, I think I got lasered.
No, guided missile Kyrios.
Okay. Close.
Under mail.
Close. Shields on A. That's fine.
Where is that at the converter?
I'll try the salvage, I guess, anyway. And use the new break and everything, please, on email. Thank you.
That's Marcus.
Already getting.
You're arresting the same person.
Oh, cool.
Nah,
Please let them
that's
pull
not gonna
out
happen.
your wrist.
It wouldn't have happened either way. It's really good though.
Okay, one more pull and then we'll go for the much needed break.
You scared the living shit out of me, I guess.
Or we need to hold for a second. Yeah, hold for Okay, should be.
Mayo.
Circle switch.
Close.
Oh, sorry. Oh, then this
Between 2 and 8 for sure. Res.
You get more thought?
Use everything. Use it for whatever else.
Maybe 4 seconds.
Give me it as much as you can.
Alrighty.
Blue is deformation.
Careful where you're moving. I don't know if that was deformation range. Also my video is broken, so I can't even check.
No, I think it's because I never got any marker, so someone might have got double.
Yeah, Vangress neither got a marker or a tether. I think that's what happened.
Oh, I thought
agree.
people get it even in depth.
Me too, but I didn't see anything above his head, and I didn't see a tether on him.
Yeah,
That person's get it, but if that person's right when the cast finished, press the button that they accepted, they are untargetable for the boss for everything, and then they don't get anything.
So in that instance, I'm supposed to delay?
Yeah, delay, let this lay down till Hello World is over, and then press the accept button, and you have the debuffs.
Okay.
Well, anyway, we'll have a 10-minute break.
Well, that was a very, very weird raid session. Mainly because I think people were more preoccupied with our issues in P2, which we still have. Like, for some reason, we're missing some damage in P2, and we still did today. I don't think we had a single actually proper clean pull in P2, at least not what I would consider like perfectly clean. Then again, our Reaper also used their buff regardless, but on I think like 2 pulls where technically we were kind of clean on everything, although some of the debuffs were a little bit off, or not debuffs but buffs I think were like a awkwardly delayed a little bit, but we still just barely made it. So we're definitely, it feels like we're definitely missing about a percentage or something from the female boss in terms of damage still. And regardless, it should be that close. I don't think that damage check is that difficult. So yeah, I don't know what's happening there. I definitely adjusted my own rotation. It's really, really weird with what's going on with Summoner, and I hope I really paid or tried to pay really, really close attention to my damage numbers, the ones that show up above the boss. Sadly, those aren't always 100% accurate. I think they can sometimes still ghost. So I'm not entirely sure. I delayed my Archmorn and my Death Flare at the start of P2 by GCD, which feels way too close for comfort. In theory, my Death Flare should not hit both bosses. The damage is shown, but I'm not entirely sure if that's accurate. I kind of need to delay it by a GCD though, because otherwise I'm not hitting all the buffs. So, we might have to talk about that, but sadly I don't think the Dancer can delay theirs, or rather, like, do it earlier. But yeah, regardless, it's really, really annoying. And then for some reason, so in that scenario, technically I'm hitting my stuff too late, but at least according to the damage numbers, it's still hitting, which I find weird. What's even weirder is the interaction later on, because technically it should snapshot whenever you press the button. For Summoner, that's not actually the case, because it's still some weird pet stuff that is going on, and in general, the damage, like when I press my Legos, right, the damage only goes out like 3 seconds or something after, because they're being summoned in, and then they do their big attack, and then it hits for damage, right? So there's some weird snapshotty things going on. I now, instead of summoning Garuda right away, I'm now ruining... I'm using Ruin 3. Then I'm summoning Garuda technically before the debuff falls off. But since the damage only goes out shortly before the female becomes invulnerable, seemingly it's still hitting both. So that should be added damage for me. Also, I'm not immediately doing the ground AoE slipstream, but instead pressing Ruin 4, which is an additional cleaving attack on those two targets. But yeah, for Summoner, that's a weird interaction, man. It is really, really weird and annoying. I don't even know how to double check that, because I think even in the logs it sometimes isn't correctly displayed whether or not the damage goes through, but yeah, without enough proper clean pulls to confirm or deny whether or not it's good what I'm doing, it's difficult to tell. Either way, very, very short break. I'll be right back. Alrighty, let's get the show on the road. Hopefully this is gonna be a bit better. Man, I was so tunneling throughout the entire thing. I mean, I didn't really... well, I did. I think I made like 2 mistakes. Definitely not on my perfect game today, but it's quite exhausting when you have to look out for a bunch of other stuff, right? Well, either way, hopefully, yeah, it'll be doing better in part 2. Let's get it.
Who's breaking the tether first, the Christmas or the blue? Okay.
Blue tether breaks first.
And is my cue, as soon as I see those disco lights go out, I break the other tether? For example, on Christmas?
In an ideal world, yes, you could, but you would probably want to wait for either the call out or watch for the blue tether being exploded, because bear in mind that puts an immense amount of pressure on healers.
Which one is? Sorry, I missed the beginning.
Breaking the second tether after the first one in Hello World.
What?
Isn't there still the debuff?
What
Yeah.
debuff?
Also that as well. Magic Worm.
Oh yeah.
Magic Form debuff, just wait for that to fall off and immediately break yours.
That works as well.
Ah, okay, that's a good one. How long is the debuff?
2 seconds, I think.
2 seconds or something, yeah.
Yeah. Did you do
No,
your party?
I did it, sorry. Okay, ready.
Okay.
It's a bit, sorry. My bad.
Well,
You were speed, Marcus.
Yeah, I might have been a little bit too fast. There was still an AoE from the other
You
group.
died in the laser from the previous group, yes.
every person who runs ahead of the group will now be forced to wear a Summon the Hedgehog costume for the next session. That is
Yeah.
now the rule.
Just wanted to say that Marcus summoned Sapphire Hedgehog instead of his usual stuff.
I mean, I always do that movement. It's just, yeah. This time there was an AoE in the way.
Limit break. Rest.
God, it's very early.
Yeah. If someone drops an AoE in front of me, then like there's literally no other movement I can move on to save up time. Especially if I'm stuck in souls.
time.
I can't get you up.
Might be good for practice run still if we can get through. Come on. Okay, just get him up as much have an even you can. Just practice.
Got a different debuff.
That's okay. I'm not expecting us to get through.
Male sides. Square swap.
Close. Between B and 3.
male sides.
X1.
Wow.
Yeah.
The other side didn't move far enough. I was literally on the very edge.
Nope.
No, we
Nope.
had
Had
5 on
three
our
people.
side.
Yeah, five. Look,
Ah,
there
okay.
are 5 people.
think I'll be up in time.
Behind the boss, so yeah, sorry.
Was that because of me?
I am not sure. I thought the AoE was gone, but clearly it wasn't, and I just got murdered by it.
It's gone.
Yeah, as I said, I'm not sure. It may as well just have been me. I don't even have the video to check it now because my drive is broken.
Search.
Stop.
Male sides.
Main is on 3 and 3. Not far. Use Abby, please. Thank you.
fingers.
Good.
Fuck.
I'm
I'm
very
the
easy.
Red.
See what's up.
I almost made it.
Why would you go to the tower where like somebody's already standing?
Me?
No, no.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah, I saw that unfold. What do you want me to say? I was staring. Who's gonna be my partner today? Dre or the other guy?
Yeah, if you see someone in the tower, just move on. You have plenty of time.
Yeah, but you still adjusted. You had enough time.
Aw.
Of course I did, because, well, you know. It has to be done.
It was not me, right?
No.
No, it was me. I wasn't paying any attention what you were doing.
Undermelt.
Square swap.
What swap?
Square.
Claire.
Sorry, was that too fast?
No, too unclear.
Okay.
team, please.
So unfair. So when the stack dies, just somebody else gets hit immediately with an AoE.
Yep.
That's
Uh-huh.
Unfortunately, there's no mercy.
What, Gabrica?
Marcus, please.
Cannon solo.
Four Marcus and his great.
Ow, ow, ow.
Sorry, lost confidence.
Male side.
Square swap. Oh. Oh. Let's just swap.
Whoever wanted to pull murder on me. Haha, I dodged that bitch.
This time.
The night is still young.
So it took the stack of iron. That was weird.
Yeah. You want to try out what Dre had?
I mean, we were all on top of each other for quite a while, I thought. It was a different
Yep. Female.
There's a name. Papa. Oh, okay. I'll wait. Red is left up. Watch where you're moving. Red is left up. Last one, break blue, break green. Almost.
It's healing, I need to figure it out.
It's okay, from a mechanical standpoint that was pretty
My
low.
Seraph, it doesn't come back in time, but I can say that.
No, I'm just thinking about the timing of the Lily Bells and it to be the most effective because that's definitely the key.
No, but I definitely. But the thing about Seraph is like, like Lilybella will reach everyone from the middle of the arena. It came back 5 seconds after that damage went off, so I'm thinking like maybe I don't use it.
Your Seraph won't reach everyone if the deformation is in the back of the arena.
No, but like after the damage
Yeah.
go.
Yeah. Sorry. Go on, type. No one? Okay, so yeah, but we need to survive that damage first, and your Seraph is fine there. We need to survive the damage first. Sorry.
Okay, let me just practice again.
Jesus, Rez, are you summoning a demon?
No, my dead doggy
Let's walk
is
up,
here.
please.
Oh. Now he pokes me, right?
male sides.
I'm triangle.
So I want some minute trying to adjust to Pangus.
Yeah, I didn't really understood what was going on there either.
I was asserting my dominance.
You can't
Shaman
adjust
beats.
to force of nature.
No, you can't.
Oh. Not very good at this, I see. I can't raise.
Sorry, my heal didn't crit. I had a lot of roll on my last straight, so it wasn't enough. And I tried to fix it with protraction, but that wasn't enough either.
Male. Square swap.
Close.
Take that. I got bored of it.
Shoot on B.
How?
Right?
He thinks that's me. Late.
But the AoE looked like everybody was fine.
There we look fine.
Yeah.
That's why it's weird. Because that was visually a safe spot.
Don't think I've ever seen that happen.
Well, you have now.
Very strange.
That's on me. I was the imposter. I was concentrating.
I need the bowling sound.
No, that would be for me only.
You're dead. You're dead.
Mental illness.
Both heal ever paired and both heal ever standing on the northern tower.
Sorry, I haven't been paired with you for the last 2 hours, so I was.
I don't think you were paired with me today at all.
That's. Yeah.
No sword, brother.
No problem.
We did it so well, and then you die.
Yes. I didn't. Was fast enough. Just too late.
You exhausted all your speed.
Yeah.
Goodbye.
Wow.
Two fighting over the same tether.
Vance, you're staying still, you're fine? Vance,
Huh?
you're
Yeah,
fine?
my wrist hurts a lot. So if you randomly see me like stop casting, that's because of it.
I think I got it.
DPS, wait on the DPS on male before you get much into it, because I you should be fine now.
Oh. Full out.
Oh.
If you
No, that was
Had-
super late. There's just like no other, you know. It looked at us basically.
Yes. The angle was really weird, and I moved them to the wrong edge.
So whenever you have the damage in phase 1 button, what if you just kill yourself when the tank stuff is off and I can still raise you quickly?
I mean, do you have instant freeze there?
Yeah, she has
I-
it normally because she
normally
normally
I
can
have.
rest the person as well there.
Yeah,
The
We'll
position.
give it a try, but it's...
Yeah. It's a DSR solution
Never
technically. Yeah. It's what we did in DSR as well.
Dying is better than
Yeah.
having it because it's a higher DPS.
Yeah, it's 2 minutes and the other one is just 1 minute, yeah.
And it's much higher the DPS now as well.
Oh, yeah, stop.
My next. You see, I would have, but I was in Wraith. I can't do anything. I only have Comedium.
I'm holding there much there now because I just stopped damaging and I'm just starting to hitting the tank, so
Really one more.
Yeah, I was at an awful position there.
My wrist, though.
Sorry, wrong move. That wasn't supposed to happen.
It's okay.
How the fuck did not Red get that? He was literally between you and me in the trace.
Well,
There
he's
was-
the sin, I guess.
He was the ham in the sandwich and he didn't get it.
There was
Maybe-
even really early there.
Maybe we smushed him a bit too hard.
Maybe.
Nah,
He became
I-
invisible.
I think Harald put me to the dark side out of everything. He touched me.
Well, unfortunate. Right. Despite of all of tonight's shenanigans, we still managed to get in our best pool in terms of mechanical kindness, so, you know, it's good. Other than that, it is what it is. 27 vibes on P3, 13 on P2, 34 on P1. Well, hey ho. Couple of quick things. So obviously Lance is away on the 20th, and then Vengris you're away from the 23rd till the 20...
7.
So, cool. Right, I'm hoping when these absences are done, we won't be having any more gaps like this, and we'll be able to have a bit more consistent schedule. And then obviously once Raz finishes T, we'll look at getting all of the missed sessions put back in. Something to keep in mind, as Lance is a healer, probably going to be harder to find a replacement for him for Thursday. I'm currently looking, but just temper your expectations accordingly. And then for the remaining 3 sessions, I'll see if I can grab either all the subs that helped us out previously, or if I can tempt someone from what's it called, the RC. But yeah, other than that, not really a whole lot from me. Is there anything from anyone else?
We've got a healer we know we can call.
Well, so you can... go ahead.
I just want to say that Lance, both of us are up with 1,000 DPS on phase 2 now. We increased both of us with 1,000 compared to last session, so yay.
Yeah, sorry about my fucking dumb question about the if you can hit the... I realized that the exact point as the GCD when both of the bosses are targetable is the exact GCD I usually cast my shield. So, of course I missed that, but yeah. Also, I feel like I played worse today than usual, so also apologies about that.
As well, so you don't need to apologize for it. Everyone has off days.
Yeah, I have my wedding on Thursday, so that's like all I've been able to think about.
Yeah, rightfully so. It's fine, honestly. Shit happens, we move on. That's all there is to it. Anything else for anyone?
Yeah, I just wanted to say about the gap thing. I might get another one in July or August. Could be a 1-week thing. Just wanted to give you a heads up.
We'll have a chat about that. Okay. Yeah, I don't really have much else to comment at the moment. We'll have a chat about it.
Okay, dokie.
Anything else?
No. I will pet dog now and go out with dog.
Tell your dog I said hi.
Yes. Just say the word that he's beautiful and nice and lovely and all that shit that you tell
He's
them.
old. He probably doesn't know anything anymore.
That's fine.
He's probably like old as Vangras.
Younger.
Nothing is as old as Vangras.
There you go. That's the right answer.
Time is.
Oh.
At this point, it's debatable. But anyway, I digress. Thank you very much for tonight for everyone, and I'll catch all of you at one point or another.
Yep. I guess you're gonna let us know about Lance like one day before.
Well, I mean, I'll try to, but again, it's probably something that I will be looking for until like an hour before raid.
Fine.
Again,
I'll be around.
healers are hard to find.
Healers are also, as a healer, I would probably. I feel like finding a sub healer is even harder. Because people don't like healing with people they don't know.
Yeah, pretty much. Well, we'll see how it goes regardless. We'll give it a try. I don't want to just call off raid sessions without giving it a shot. So,
Of course.
I respect that.
right, cool. Well, thank you
Yeah.
very much, everyone. Have a good evening. Good luck with your wedding, Lance, and yeah, catch you all later.
Yeah. See ya.
Yeah, good night.
Good night. Well. That was our raid session for tonight. Honestly, looking at the logs, it's not even that bad. Like, it's still a ridiculous amount of wipes in P1, but we still managed to get 7 P3. So, like, we didn't get worse, and we had our best pull tonight. So, still, despite everything, it's okay. It's just... Whew, tonight was tough. I think energy was kind of low on everyone. I don't exactly know why that is. It might have just been that, you know, energy was low. Because sometimes you get those sessions, right? Everybody is kind of, you know, hanging a bit. And, well, if you know, that can multiply, right? If people realize, oh, you know, maybe energy is a bit low today, then it's difficult to keep concentration up yourself. I certainly felt that. I felt very, very, not tired per se, but I was definitely tunneling a lot today. I thankfully didn't lead to any mistakes. I think like 2 mistakes that I did do were just normal mistakes, right? So I like did a dumb movement on the P3 transition at some point, and I also at the very, very start, there was some weird stuff going on with the tether that I didn't resolve properly, where somebody took it like away from the 2 people that were supposed to take it, and I didn't adjust properly to that. I was just kind of surprised by that. So, yeah, at least I managed to pull through, which is good, but didn't really help overall, I guess. The problem is that we're still struggling with damage for some reason in P2, but I feel like looking at the logs, it was just that a couple people were definitely pulling like lower stuff than usual. So, and also we didn't really, from the couple of tries that we did get to, like from the 7 pulls that we did get to P3, only I think 3 were without, you know, any kind of deaths or weird stuff. And out of those 3, I still think that there were some weird things going on with damage like that. I don't think that's any, you know, particular indication as to what the damage output should be. So I feel like we might be fine on that front, but we'll only truly see once we progress further and need the damage in P3 in order to get through it, right? Well, yeah, kind of a weird raid session today. It's just that overall, this was what, day 19, right? I'm looking at my stream title. For day 19, I was kind of thinking about that before raid. We're really not that far into the fight. Next raid tier is gonna release in about a month. Considering that we probably also... I mean, there's gonna be a week's delay between the patch dropping and Savage unlocking, but obviously you want... I mean, there's gonna be the new Extreme, people who want to play the story and the other stuff that releases, and we also need to craft all the gear for the next Savage release. So I don't really think that we're going to be progging top throughout that. So I feel like at this point, unfortunately, looking at it realistically, unless we pull some crazy stunt, especially with, you know, the people that are away right now, or that are going to be away for the next, I think, 4 raid sessions. We always need 1 sub at least, so... yeah. I think we might even be lucky to get to monitors, right? Get a couple of really solid pulls through Hello World and take a look at monitors. I think that's pretty much all we were able to do before Savage releases, which is honestly... I don't want to say disappointing, but yeah, it's definitely not what I expected. I'm just going to be honest on that. I was pretty sure that we weren't going to clear before the next Savage tier because the timing was just too bad on that, right? I mean, when did we start? Like halfway into February, right? So we're on it like for almost 2 months at this point, I want to say. So yeah, the timing was definitely too short, especially for a group that does more casual hours, right? I mean, it's not exactly casual. It could be considered mid-core, but it's definitely not that many, right? I mean, 9 hours per week, releasing that much for an ultimate. So yeah, I was definitely not expecting us to clear before the next Savage release. But that being said, I still think that our progress is quite slow, even when you account for the fact that not all of us have ultimate experience, right? I mean, there's people that don't or didn't have any ultimate experience, which is completely fine, but that's not the reason why we're so slow. So yeah, I mean, I don't have a problem with that per se, right? And I think I said so on a bunch of occasions. It's just that the fight isn't really interesting enough to be progged like this, I want to say. I think I would be fine progging T like this. This fight, however, it's just not interesting enough. I'm sorry I have to say that. Pantocrator is honestly still really cool. That mechanic is fun every time you go through it, because it's fast-paced, but it's also, well, it's fast. So tethers are just a slog to get through. That mechanic is so brain-dead easy after a while that you just completely shut your brain off. Like, sometimes I don't even realize what number I have, right? I'm automatically doing it because it's such a non-existent mechanic after a while. It's really, really weird, and I didn't even expect that, to be honest, because at first it felt quite different to what they usually do, and well, at first it felt like a proper ultimate mechanic, but now honestly it doesn't feel like that anymore. I want to say that a couple of tether tower mechanics in Savage were more difficult than this. Might have to take a look back at P4, for example. I mean, yeah, sure, the healing and everything required is obviously ultimate level, right? But aside from that... And then P2 is kind of fine, because it's leading up to a proc point, but it's also not that interesting. I think the whole PlayStation mechanic, at first it does look a bit more daunting, because it's definitely faster than the mechanics from DSR, but it's also a lot simpler, because it's just one thing, right? It's... like you need to find a safe spot, and then you move accordingly for your tether. Yeah, sure, there is like a second movement afterwards, but that's so brain dead easy that it might as well not exist, right? So it's a lot easier than the trios in DSR, I would say, which makes the whole of P2 just kind of uninteresting to a degree. And then it has those weird shenanigans with the boss being cleavable for like 1.5 GCD, which I'm not even entirely sure why they decided to do that. Yeah, technically it's demanding that you realize that and possibly cleave the bosses, but honestly, if it's supposed to be like this, I mean, obviously it's supposed to be like this, but that's just a strange decision. I don't really know. That's a really, really weird, because it's so finicky as well. It's right at the start of P2. Everybody needs to drop their party buffs. And then you immediately need to dump your strongest GCDs. And it still feels weird. And I'm never quite, even though the damage is shown, I'm never quite sure if it ghosts or not. Yeah, it's... I don't know what they were thinking with that. It's... It is definitely part of an ultimate to realize opportunities like that, right? And properly take advantage of it, sure. But it's done in such a weird way where you don't really know. Like, it would make more sense for me if, for example, after PlayStation, they were both targetable and then one of them goes invulnerable. But they're not targetable, and instead you're hitting them for like 15 seconds, then the debuffs fall off for 2 seconds or something, 3 seconds, and then one of them gets untargetable. It's just strange. It feels incredibly random. I think that's why it's so, well, weird. P3 so far I do like, although I think that's gonna get worse the deeper you get into Hello World, because it's literally going to be the same thing over and over again. Kind of depends on how good the pacing feels. Since we haven't really gotten through to the second latent defect properly, it's hard to say at this point how good the pacing feels, like if it feels fast or slow. But honestly, judging by how monitors work and considering that Hello World sadly needs to have a very similar pacing, it kind of has the same issue that the tethers have in Phase 1, where they overcomplicated the mechanic so much on paper, right, with all the debuffs and everything, that resolving it needs to take some time, because you take the towers, tethers need to explode, right, as the first one, the second one, then the new towers spawn, you need to adjust your positioning, and then they go off. So yeah, there's going to be a bunch of adjustments that need to be made, and sure, you have to, maybe that thing's going to be a bit more interesting because you have to adjust a little bit more in terms of where you're running with everything. But overall, I feel like once you're comfortable with that mechanic, it's going to feel like a slog, just like the tethers in P1, because it's the same pattern, right, where the exact same thing happens 4 times in a row. I don't know. I don't think I dislike the fight. Definitely still better than Ultima Weapon Ultimate. That's for sure. But honestly, it's starting to drop below DSR, which I wouldn't have thought possible, because DSR really wasn't my favorite at all. It's not a bad fight by any means, but it had so much potential still, I think. And the problem is, I usually tend to judge things by potential, right? How much better they could have been. And I think this fight had way more potential than DSR, right? DSR pretty much basically with the way they did the storytelling throughout the fight with the alternate version of events, there is only a couple of things that you could have adjusted or done differently and still fit everything within the same idea, I want to say. Sure, some mechanic could have been and should have been different. And there are some things where I feel like it would have been better if more people had something to do, right? I'm looking at you, Meteor Mechanic, where only the 2 people that are dropping the meteors actually have something interesting to do. But aside from that, it's still like it's a cool fight for what it does, and it has those special gimmicks in it. And I think the problem is this fight is lacking that, right? DSR was interesting because of because it wasn't only an ultimate, but because it had the additional story part to it, and the NPCs being part of it, and you know, you rescuing Harshafant and everything. Obviously that gets, like, you kind of drone that out after a while because you're focusing on mechanics, but looking back on it, right, looking back on the experience, I think it's still part of it, and it makes the fight pretty special in a lot of ways. And this fight just doesn't really do that. Sure, there's something interesting in P5 and P6, so once you get there, maybe that same kind of feeling will hit. But until then, it's kind of boring. Not gonna lie, it's kind of boring. And the way the mechanics flow, it's... well, I just think that I'm missing so much, right? I'm missing so much from what they could have done with this. And I know I'm repeating myself with that, right? I think level checker should have been there. Definitely, right? Fight probably should have started with that. Or just work like 011, where level checker comes in fairly early into the whole thing, right? So after, I don't know, 10, 20 seconds or something, Omega would disappear, level checker would appear. We're missing the purple connection between people that was present during level checker. I know that the fists are going to be a part, are going to be part of like trios later into the fight, but they're kind of missing here as well at the start. Pantocrat is cool, but yeah, level checker's missing, the purple tether is missing, fists are kind of missing, and the number mechanic from MNF is definitely also missing. And I think same goes for when they do their AoE stuff where you need to find the safe spot. I think that should have been an uptime part of the fight instead of just sort of thrown in with PlayStation. Honestly, they should have just not done PlayStation again. I don't know why they're so fond of those markers, but that should have been the original mechanic, just more complicated. So something like, so the original mechanic in MNF, right, first part of 012, has everybody getting a number. And as always, there are purple numbers and there are blue numbers, right? And you needed to essentially, now that I'm thinking about it, honestly, that mechanic, thinking back, seems more complicated to me than this PlayStation mechanic. Well, to a degree. But yeah, you had those numbers, and then the bosses started charging at those people in the same, like in with the numbers in mind, right? So number 1 was charged first, number 2, and so on and so forth. So what you had to do is you had to position, before the mechanic started, you had to position the bosses, which you needed to do anyways, on 2 sides of the arena. Then number 1 would have to go opposite, because the damage was obviously based on the distance they traveled. So number 1 had to go to the opposite edge, then number 2, and so on and so forth. P2 does something similar, right? The current, or not current, the last raid tier, P2, had a similar number mechanic, but that had it was a little bit less complex than the one that was in 012. Because in 012 you also had the eye do an AoE while that was going on, so you had to be aware of that too. And honestly, I would have preferred something like that. Just add a bunch of numbers, right? Give everybody 2 numbers or something. and maybe do like an interesting eye pattern. That doesn't even happen, right? In the Ultimate. In the Savage version, the eye has different AoEs that it can do. Like a large circle around it or the line. And here it only ever does the line, which is honestly pretty boring. And then you had to do some cool adjustments with AoEs as well. There's really a lot missing from this, and I think that's why I'm so on the fence about it, or that's why I'm currently thinking that for me, at least in my personal ranking, is starting to drop below DSR, because I feel like it's just missing a bunch of stuff that honestly should have been there. You know, at least throw it in somehow, because, well, chakrams, for example, in T are also kind of a non-issue. They just exist, but they're not really doing anything. But at least they exist, right? They're kind of a fun little thing, gimmick, that you at least need to be aware of. Whereas here, a bunch of things just don't exist. I'm honestly starting to wonder why. Anyways, it's getting late again, and I should probably get to bed. Big day tomorrow, because I will be returning to Outer Wilds. Already had a ton of fun with Outer Wilds today, and managed to get through the base game, so now all I'm looking at is the DLC, and I'm really, really excited for that. I hope it will bring up and also potentially answer a bunch of questions that I still have about the background of a bunch of information that we got about the universe, about the solar system, about all things that were going on in Outer Wilds. So I'm very much looking forward to that. That's going to be tomorrow morning, 7 a.m. UTC. Final Fantasy potentially returning on Thursday, depending on whether or not we can find a healer substitute, as discussed earlier. Also, another thing, I don't really know how long the DLC is. I might be able to get through tomorrow, but I don't want to rush it, obviously. So I might continue and finish it on Thursday. Should I, however, finish it tomorrow, I think Thursday I will be looking into Final Fantasy 1. Because finally Square Enix has decided to release the Pixel remasters on PlayStation, which I was looking forward to for a long time. And so I definitely want to play Final Fantasy 1. But we'll see about that. Probably talk a little bit about that tomorrow, because at that point, hopefully I'll be able to see if they're even available for purchase. And then, as I mentioned, I will also know how long the Outer Wilds DLC is, because that's difficult to judge compared to the base game. Anyways, that's the plan for tomorrow, or rather the next days. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your night, morning, day, evening, wherever you are, and hopefully I'll see you on the next one. Till then, bye-bye!